oh, just go up north in my hatchback, go catch some bass and salmon. That was like my go-to. I think the funniest Wisconsin phrase I heard was, we were out in the boonies, like middle of nowhere. There were only a couple of homes, and some members had some friends up in that area. So we were meeting them, and he goes, okay, we're loaded for bear. And I was like, excuse me, sir, what does that mean? And he's like, you know, like, we're loaded for bear, like, we're ready to go, locked and loaded. And I was like, oh my goodness. Like, all these things I would never even expect. I didn't even know that Wisconsin had an accent until I got there, so it does, and it's so cute. Another thing that they do is they say the word yet instead of the word still. So instead of saying we still have time, they say we have time yet, or go fetch that for me once, hey. Like, go down by the lake there once, hey. Like, just, I don't even know how to explain it. It just kind of becomes a part of you once you're there for a long time. But my brothers laugh when I use that accent. They're like, please don't. But I like it. They say beg and like eggs, and I'm begging you, please. I don't know, long A's. Long A's. Basically, if you like pretend like you have a stuffy nose, you can probably speak like them. They're so great. A lot of the people who have grown up in Wisconsin, they're just so family oriented. Like, they love people, and they love talking to people. They'll shoot the breeze with you for hours if you're not careful, just because they enjoy people's company so much. So that made it easy talking to people, because they want to talk, which is good.
Well, there's a couple different kinds of twang. There's the Southern genteel. Oh, bless your heart, you're such a, like, very dignified, but very conscious. And then there's the Southern redneck, which is like, yeah, right there out the trailer park, I saw a possum, and I thought, I could make a nice stew out of that. And people will tell you about what animals they've converted into food and that sort of thing. So if anyone ever says, oh, bless your heart, that basically means, oh, you pitiful fool. Like, it's kind of a derogatory term, so be careful who you say it around and what context. Also, be careful when you say that you'll pray for someone. Just be very like, I'm so sorry, I'll keep you in my prayers, that sort of thing. But don't ever say, I'll pray for you, because that's also like, you need some divine intervention in your life, because you're not going the right way. So there's so many different phrases, like if someone needs to be called out on their sinful behavior, it's called a come to Jesus talk. If someone says down the road a piece, that's just a distance. Or people say, used to could do this, sort of thing. Like, there's a lot of just weird manipulations of common idioms and phrases that it'll take a while to be fluent, because it's very different. People say cut the light instead of turn the light off, that sort of thing. I mean, it goes on forever. Like, it's almost its own language. It took me a couple days of prayer to be able to understand what people were saying. Like, one of my first days, one of the members said, "Jeet yet?" And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she had to say it like several times until she finally just broke up each word. Did ya eat yet? Like, oh yeah, I already had breakfast, thank you. So just be prepared. You probably won't understand half of what people say for the first week or two, but you'll eventually.
So New Yorkers have a tendency to add S's on the end of random words. So they'll say use guys, we's, Walsmarts was my favorite. They also said awful bad a lot. And these things were just picking up on my language. So I said awful bad and ain't and use guys all the time. They also called semi-trucks tractor trailers, which I guess is just a general East Coast thing. That's what I hear. But for the longest time, I didn't know what they were talking about. They're like, oh, a tractor trailer on the freeway. And I'm imagining like a tractor you would drive on the farm. I'm just like, why was that on the freeway? And then finally my companion was like, oh no, they mean semi-trucks. I'm like, oh, that makes so much more sense. So I think those were the biggest differences, were just like, yeah, use guys, tractor trailers. So it was really fun.
So I lived in San Mateo, Florida. That was one of the places I lived, but they say San Mateo. That's how they pronounce it. There's Interlaken, but they say Interlaken. So like there's Crescent City. They add A's. They use like water. They say like with a wall, and that one confused me. I didn't know that was a southern thing. Wash. They say wash, or like they say crayon. Funny. Oh, they say crayon. They say crayon is what they say. And I couldn't understand them when I first got there. But I do sometimes pretend. I like walk through Walmart sometimes and I ask for people things in southern accents and they think that I'm one of them, and it's really incredible. I'm from Long Island, and in Long Island we kind of talk like this. We say, actually I have a friend from Boston, and we have this conversation all the time where it's Boston people say ah and New Yorkers say aw. So they say wash your car in the Harvard Yard, but we say wash your car in the Harvard Yard. Of course, that's like more Brooklyn. That's not really Long Island.